required you to resolve it manually. In other words, Git was just not sure which version of the code to merge, since two different versions existed on two different branches. When Git encounters such a conflict, it expects you, as the user, to resolve the differences and decide which version to keep, and then manually update the code to reflect the changes made in both branches. This is a typical scenario that happens when both you and your teammate are working on the same code simultaneously on the same code at the same time, resulting in modifications to the same line of code and finally causing a merge conflict. It is something that, no matter how much you try to avoid it, always happens. So you're likely to encounter those merge conflicts from time to time. So how can you resolve them? Well, there's a standard process that you need to follow. With enough practice, it'll become second nature. Here is what you have to do. First, check out the main branch by running git checkout main. Next, pull the latest changes from the remote main branch, or in other words, the changes that your friend got merged before you, by running git pull. There we go. We can see his stupid comments right here. Now your local main branch and remote main branch are identical, so you can safely check out to your own branch. Git checkout dev Adrian. Stop here and let me ask you a question. When you created a pull request, which branch were you attempting to merge the changes into? Well, of course, the main branch. So what are we trying to accomplish here? If you're not sure, let me show it to you in action. Run the command git merge main. That's correct. You have just merged the main branch into your branch. Although the initial objective was opposite. It was to merge your branch into the main branch. But that process didn't work due to the merge conflict. So we first must resolve the issue. And to do that, we're merging the main branch into our branch to identify the problem. The command we just used, git merge and the branch name, is used to merge that branch name that you specified right here, such as main in our case, into the branch we're currently on. And now that you run this command, you can see that there are merge conflicts in readme.md. Automatic merge failed, fix conflicts, and then commit the results. Most code editors have some kind of a versioning system right here on the left sidebar. By pressing Command 0, I can open up WebStorms 1. Here, you'll be able to see a list of all merge conflicts. In this case, we have only one, and it is in the readme.md file. Let me show you how to read it. Arrows pointing to the left side that say head refer to the changes coming from your branch. And arrows pointing to the right side that say main refers to the changes coming from the main branch due to the merge command that you executed. To resolve them, you can manually choose what you want to keep or remove by removing those lines and clearing up the code that you don't want there, but the usual way is to click the resolve button. On WebStorm, it looks like this, but the options should be similar across all code editors. Typically, you have three options. You can choose whether you want to accept your code, whether you want to accept their code, or whether you want to do something in between. Of course, wouldn't life be so simple if you could just choose one of those two options? But typically, that's not what you want to do. In most cases, you want to keep some of your code and some of their code. So we'll have to go with the third option. This interface will differ depending on the code editor you're using. Sometimes it might be inline, so you see the red and green lines directly within a single file. But I very much like the way in which WebStorm is doing this. On the left side, we can see our changes. On the right side, we can see their changes. And in the middle, we can see the result. So you can just choose which one you want to merge. In this case, they wrote something that's not so useful, so we want to keep ours. And now that gets transferred over to the middle one. Welcome to Git. But let's say that this code is an important implementation of some feature within their branch. Of course, in this case, it's just a line of text, but I think you can imagine how Johnny can really write something useful. So let's say that we also need to merge this. And at the same time, we have also added an important feature from our own branch. So we can add it right here as well. So the final result will look something like this. Modified heading, Johnny's feature, your feature, and then the feature that was previously there. Let's remove this stop change from Johnny because we preferred ours better. All changes have been finished, and we can click Apply. And there we go. Here is our new README file containing both Johnny's changes and our changes without conflicts. Now, let's open up the terminal, run git add dot to add our newly modified file, say git commit -m, resolve merge conflicts, and run git push. You already know the drill, right? Now, return to GitHub and check the PR. If you scroll down, you'll see that there's no more merge conflicts because they've been resolved by our resolve merge conflicts commit. Now, it would make sense to tag your reviewer and say something like merge conflicts resolved. Please check. Then they'll be able to go to your code base, request some changes if necessary, and finally merge your pull request to the main branch. Now, if you go back to the code, you can see that there's a new commit to the README 3 minutes ago, and our heading has now been cleaned up. It doesn't include Johnny's nonsense anymore, but it does include their features, it includes your features, and it includes features previously added to main. Amazing work. Now you know how to resolve merge conflicts, one of the scariest things to do as a developer. And I know it all looks intimidating at first, but with enough practice, it'll become second nature. Trust me. So far, you've learned the basics and some intermediate Git skills that you'll use in your day-to-day work. But let's be honest, sometimes things can go wrong, and you mistakenly break production. That's when Git becomes your best friend, only if you know how to use it to its full potential, of course. And this is where what I call Git savior commands come in handy. These commands let you manage changes, undo mistakes, and tweak your commit history. Think of them as your backup plan when things get messy. You already tried and tested one such command, which allows you to check out to a past commit. Do you know which one is it? Yeah, it's git checkout and then a commit hash. But as I've told you, that command doesn't discard or delete anything. It's just a way to view the history of specific commits. There might be the case where you want to check out to a particular commit and then delete everything that comes after it. That's the job for git reset. Imagine you want to remove some commits and revert to a previous commit, with the possibility of choosing whether you want to keep or discard the changes in the working directory.
I got this wow skin from Olay Body Wash. It's new super serum. Sinks into my skin with 5 powerful ingredients. 5 benefits in one. Look at the Olay difference. So luminous. Olay Super Serum Body Wash. Nutrient magnesium is made to care for your heart, bones, and muscles.
Duke's tasty tender dog treats can turn every outing into an adventure. From park to peak, wherever you roam, don't forget the Zooks. Zooks dog treats. Choose your adventure.
Behold, a Boost Mobile Unlimited plan at a price that never goes up.
$25 a month, forever. That's a great idea.
I know. I do my best thinking in the shower, so I turn my office into one. Leave it open. Leave it open?
That's a bit hard to understand, right? So let me say that again. Suppose you made 10 commits and want to check out the third commit in history. You want to delete all commits after the third, like 4th, 5th, 6th, 10th, and so on. Maybe even wrote some bad code in those commits. And to keep things simple, you want to remove these bad commits, but still want to keep the changes that you implemented. I hope that makes sense. So delete these commits, but keep all the changes you made from the 4th to the 10th commit. This is where we use git reset. It allows us to remove the traces of commits in history, but gives us the changes we made in those to-be discarded commits so we can decide what to do. We can keep those changes, form a better commit out of them, or delete them entirely. It's up to you. Let me quickly add a console log to this hello.js file. On top of the first one, I'll add another one that says something like console log, hello, GitHub. There we go. Now we have 2. Then make a commit by running git add dot git commit -m. Add GitHub console log to hello.js. Next, To properly illustrate how we'll use git reset, I'll add one more console log. This console log will say something like hello from,
Take this
and then put
fucker
the
out.
name of your branch. Dev Adrian in my case, since we haven't switched from before, we're still in this branch. And I also want to commit this. Imagine this is a bigger feature that you implemented. So I'll run git add dot git commit -n, and we'll say something like add hello console.log to hello.js and commit it. Now you commit it, you stand up from your desk, go for a walk or go about your day, then you come back and then you start focusing on some additional functionalities within the same branch. Let's say that additional functionality is another console log, but this time, this console log will actually break things. So we can say this is bad code, okay? And now we can do another commit, of course, without knowing that this commit breaks the code. So we can say git add dot git commit -n, and we can say add another console log. Now, if you run git log, you'll see many commits. Keep in mind that git log here includes all commits that have happened before as well. Everything from the latest console logs to previous ones to resolving our merge